I think we are there. Okay, cool. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to the 6th episode of the Mason Ingress. I almost did it again. The Gomez Ingress podcast. I am Gomez.
I'm Grass.
All right. So we're already off to a great start. All right. So Thursday night football. Oh no. Yeah, okay. So we're just recapping the games right now. All right, Thursday night football, Broncos fall to the Browns 14-17. Again, another awful loss by the Denver Broncos. They have to fire the staff. They just don't know what they're doing. The only decent thing that they've done is make a couple of trades. One, they just straight up traded draft picks with I think the Vikings for a defensive tackle. And then the other one is a little better. They acquired what's his name?
Kenny Young.
Who?
Kenny Young.
All right, and apparently he's having a career year this year, so very, very much needed a position to be filled for the Broncos defense, having almost every player in that position either on the IR or they have COVID or they are just not performing well. So there's that. Moving on to the next game, the Panthers fall to the Giants 3-25. Mason, you have anything to say about this game?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a new quarterback next week.
Yeah.
He got benched in game. I'm curious if they'll bench him next week.
Yep.
Some people are joking that Cam Newton's still available. I don't foresee that happening, but be interesting.
Sam Darnold, at this point, can you really blame the Jets for all of his undoings? Maybe you can blame his player development, but as far as how he's been with the Panthers so far, not looking good the last 4 games. Looking very rough, looking like Jet Sam Darnold. I want to know what's going on because losing against the Giants like the way that they did, pretty embarrassing. So there's that. Okay, moving on to the next game, the Jets lose to the Patriots 13-54. I think we all expected a game of this magnitude. I'm pretty sure I called the Patriots to like be up by 60 or something, and they almost did. Zach Wilson getting injured. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. And there was a trade that went down. Mason, do you want to talk about that?
Joe Flacco for, I think it was a conditional pick to the Jets. Probably be their starter. I would imagine that's why they brought him back since he played there last year.
Oh, boy. Joe Flacco, of course, since leaving Baltimore, has kind of been the poor man's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Really not doing anything. I don't know. But good for Joe. I don't think he played well for the Jets, but we shall see what this year brings. All right, moving to another game. The Chiefs 3-4 lose to the 5-2 Titans 3-27. Derrick Henry, he can run the ball and he can throw the ball. He is a football player. Man, what's going on with the Chiefs, Mason?
I honestly don't know. Like, it's weird because before it was kind of just their defense, but even Mahomes has been down this year.
Yeah.
And it's weird too because Mahomes is like top 5 in passing yards still. Tyreek Hill's top 5 in receiving yards. It's just kind of odd. I mean, maybe it's the run game isn't real smooth this year. Could be part of it.
I saw a quote from Andy Reid earlier in the week, and he said that he is seeing things that he's never seen before. And people on Twitter kind of just assume that the Chiefs are on panic mode. And I think they are not to be considered a dynasty by any means. I mean, they have to win like 2 more championships.
Yeah,
but,
you have to win like 2 or 3 minimum.
I think the Chiefs have been figured out. and losing to the Titans, I don't know. More like losing to Derrick Henry, but also Ryan Tannehill played actually pretty well. I think he heard
Yeah.
what we were saying last week and decided to ball out. It's always the Titans team.
Mm.
Every time I've picked against the Titans, they've won. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, moving on to the next game. 2-5, Washington lose to the Packers 10-24. Packers looking really solid. I don't think they've been playing well still. And they kept this game pretty close until like the fourth quarter. I don't know what to say about the Packers. Aaron Rodgers looks good, but everything outside of that it's not very convincing. Yeah, very questionable. What do you have to say about the Packers and Washington?
I mean, I expect them to win against teams that are average like Washington and put up points, but I'm really intrigued to see when they play like a real competitive team because I feel like a lot of their games have been against below average teams.
That's fair.
Like this week, I mean, this week will probably be the biggest test of the year.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they
honestly, probably will be.
yeah. Um, I don't know the rest of the Packers schedule, but as far as divisional opponents, their division is trash. It's one of the worst in the league. The only like competitive team I would say is Minnesota, Chicago maybe, but that's if Justin Fields can avoid
What
getting
you get out of
sacked.
him?
Yeah, so there is that in play. I don't know. The Packers I think have one of the easiest schedules in the league. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens with the Packers, the Washington football team, looking rough as well. All right, so a game I'm really happy I called correctly. The 3-3 Falcons beat the Miami Dolphins 30-28. You sleep on Matt Ryan, and what happens? He's gonna get you the W. All right. Tua, however, having a solid game as well. It looks like Tua is back. He did throw 2 interceptions though. Compared to Matt Ryan's one. Cordell Patterson leading the team in rushing yards, so that's always fun. Cordero Patterson is a football player. He is whatever the team needs him to be. What do you have to say about the Falcons and Dolphins?
The Falcons kind of surprised me with that. I expected the Dolphins to be better in that, but I think honestly at this point, both of these teams are kind of like borderline, probably not going to make the playoffs, kind of just competing. I don't foresee either one of them honestly making the playoffs.
No, I agree. Dolphins, I don't know what they have to do to salvage this season. I don't think an extra game is going to save this season for them. Falcons, with the win, they go 3-3, which is very important as far as the NFC goes. There's just a lot of strong teams in the NFC this year. So if anything, if the Falcons keep playing well against bad teams or teams that they're supposed to beat, they'll be okay. They have the weapons on offense for it. It's just I don't know what their defense is doing. They just kind of let teams run away with the lead. But they've also they played Tom Brady twice a year too, so there is that.
Yeah, so that doesn't help.
All right. Any closing thoughts before we move on to the next game?
No.
That is a no. Okay. Oh, this is my favorite game. This is my favorite. I got this one right. And I'm very happy that I did. I just had a feeling. Mason, we're gonna let you cover this beautiful change of scenery in the AFC North here.
I mean, Bengals played a good game. Jamar Chase wasn't stopped really at all, and Joe Burrow looked good. I gotta give credit. They won the game. I'm
Big,
hoping with the bye week the Ravens rebound.
yeah, big trust, right? That's what they say.
Wasn't a fan of that.
Big trust.
One of the Bengals players knocked the Ravens with that after the game too.
Yeah, it was Eli Apple.
Oh, Jesus.
Eli Apple was talking shit after the game. He goes, "Immaculate truss, absolute astonishing truss," or something like that. I'm like, oh, but you're so bad, Eli Apple. Momo.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the most average players in the league,
Uh,
even. But
I,
I don't know. I expect with the bye week to get some stuff together and play Minnesota real good.
yeah, I think he is 10-3 after a bye week. So that's an impressive stat for John
John.
Harbaugh.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, though, throwing for over 400 yards. I mean, that's fantastic. Um, Lamar not throwing any picks, which is good. That's always promising. Uh,
His completion percentage wasn't very good
he
though.
was about 50%, I'd say. 15 for 31. Um, did a lot of work on the ground. It seems
Well,
like
that's the other thing too. The Ravens' run game was awful besides Lamar. I think it was 10 carries for like 23 yards between the running backs.
Rashad Bateman also putting in some work too.
Yeah, it was
What
awesome to see that.
watch for your future AFC North champions, the Bengals. They
Mm.
they are putting in some work here. All
They'll
right,
make the playoffs though, probably. Give them credit for that.
it's not your dad's Bengals either. Like, this is a clean Bengals team. This is like
Yeah.
they got rid of all the troublesome players, all the dirty players as far as I know. This is good. This is a good Bengals team. All right, moving on to the next game. The poor Detroit Lions meet up with Matthew Stafford, their former Messiah, in LA. Matthew Stafford put in the work. Um, Matthew, he had a field day here. 334 yards for 3 touchdowns. Threw the ball for 41 times. Not too bad. And then Jared Goff, of course, playing his former team, so the nice revenge game for the both of them. The game was close until the fourth quarter. LA kind of ran away with the game, scored 11 points. I think Jared Goff playing poorly, throwing 2 picks. I don't know. It seems like the Rams made the right call trading for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I definitely think that helped take their team to the next level.
Um,
Sean McVay, a good move on that. I mean, they gave up some draft capital, but to be fair, the Rams don't really draft that well anyways, so I don't think that hurts so much.
mm-mm. um, and
Uh,
Matthew
but yeah,
Stafford
no,
has like 5 years in him still.
yeah, that's true. As long as he stays in good shape, he should play for quite a while still. But I expect, the Rams to continue to just roll through most teams. One of the best teams in the NFL.
Oh, absolutely, they're killing it right now. It'll be fun to watch the Rams and the Buccaneers in the playoffs if that matchup does happen, which I think it will. Um,
I would bet
it's
that it would too, yeah.
at this point it's a fight for the number one seed, and if if and when Tampa loses another game, because that team is just it's just put
Injury
together so
prone.
nicely. All
It's
right,
injury prone right now too,
yeah,
though.
yeah, their secondary is very poor right now, and that's just all the injuries. I think some players are starting to come back. I'm not too sure, um, but I know
I haven't
they're
seen anything yet, but I know I would have to imagine this week or next.
yeah, the next upcoming weeks or the next couple of weeks we should see some players coming back. All right, moving on to the next game. The Eagles go on the road to play the Raiders, and they lose 33-22. What is going on here in Las Vegas? It seems like the resignation of Mr. Gruden here has gave this team a new life. It seems they're playing better. I think we talked about that last week too. The Raiders looking like a different Raider team. Not happy to say it. Honestly, it might come down to the Chargers and Raiders to win the AFC West. What are your thoughts on the Raiders there, Mason?
Yeah, honestly, pretty impressed. I kind of expected them to crumble and fall apart and basically just miss the playoffs because of all this crap going on around them. But they look pretty good, and yeah, I agree with you. I
So
think I still think Denver and KC do have a chance to compete for that spot, though. That's a very competitive division.
I don't know
But I do
anymore.
agree that the Chargers and the Raiders are probably the top spot. As for the Eagles, I'm pretty sure they are again one of those teams that'll maybe win a couple games here and there, but I don't foresee a playoff spot.
Right. I don't know. I think the
But
Chiefs are
they have 3 first-round picks, so I don't think they really care.
who the Chiefs do?
The Eagles have 3 first-round picks,
Oh, oh wow.
and
That'll
they're all
be
projected top 10 right now.
that'll be really good for them. I don't know how strong this class is though this year. I haven't heard a lot as far as
I've heard aside from quarterbacks, it's not bad. Quarterbacks aren't good, tight ends aren't good. Outside of that, it's pretty decent.
you know. We will
O-line
see.
and secondary is good.
Momo.
Yeah, more will come out, obviously, on who's good and who's bad as this college season starts to wind down.
It'll be oh man, and that's another beast too. College football.
Mhm.
It's starting to come to a close. The projections and all the ranked awesomeness that is the college football playoff will be interesting. A lot of different teams I think will be in the top four this year. Anyways, okay, so moving on. The 1-6 Texans, they do the Texans thing. Only managed to score 5 points, and the Cardinals win by a lot. Cardinals 7-0. They beat the Texans like they were supposed to.
Basically.
There's not much to say. There was a scoregami though. I think this game was a scoregami game. I think this is the first score recorded in NFL history. 31-5. So there we go. Nice
Oh,
scoregami there.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and I guess what happened in this Texans Cardinals game happened again for the Bears and Buccaneers. I don't know. These two teams are beating teams that they're supposed to. Both winning at home, which it seems like home field advantage has meant nothing this season, which is very, very impressive. Or not impressive, but it's interesting.
Intriguing, yeah.
Seattle, I think they've lost every home game so far this season. Denver has, I'm pretty sure too. Baltimore losing big at home as well. So it's crazy. I think there are more road wins than home wins this year. I don't know how accurate that is, but it just feels like that.
Hmm.
Except for this week, it's kind of a mixed bag. Do you have anything to say about these two games?
I mean, Cardinals are the Cardinals this year. I kind of thought they would be a good team this year, but they've honestly went past my expectations
Mm-hmm.
so far. Now losing anything, I mean, obviously, I don't expect them to go undefeated, but I pretty impressed with how they're doing. Definitely, probably the best team overall in the NFC, and you got to look at them as possibly a Super Bowl favorite even already, as
Right.
long as they keep winning games. And then
Do
the Texans, yeah, I mean, it's the same old thing with them. They're gonna lose most of their games.
do
Then
the
hopefully
Cardinals
grab
and
some more good.
Buccaneers play at all this season?
I'm not 100% sure.
Dang,
I don't.
that'd be a nice
Normally, you can tell
test.
by the divisions who they play. The Cardinals, have they played anyone in the AFC South,
Uh,
NFC
let's
South?
see.
I mean,
We're talking about the Cardinals and the Bucks. Let's see. So it
I don't
looks
think they
like
play.
they do not. All right. So the only
But either
way,
way, you got to think it's the Rams, Cardinals, and Buccaneers probably for the NFC really
right?
favorites.
Um, yeah. And it's cool to see how many strong teams there are this year instead of like the like two that are usually pretty dominant in each conference. There's a lot. Big quarterback changes. Big like defense or rookies that have been drafted have been putting in the work. I mean, Jamar Chase for one. It seems like he's the best rookie in this class as far as just talent. He's on pace to beat a lot of Randy Moss records too, which is crazy.
hmm
I think it's too early to compare him to Randy as far as like how consistent he is and how important he is as a player, but Jamar Chase, he's starting conversations for sure. Um,
Definitely.
all right, all right. Next game, 30-18 Colts at Santa Clara. So this game was a lot closer than the score dictates. That's what I want to say. The Colts looking really good. I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs this year. They are beating good teams, and the good teams that they lose to is by a possession. So these and Carson Wentz, I think, is looking like how the Eagles wanted him to look like after his injury. Carson Wentz has been playing fantastic this year so far.
I'd like to say too, though, you got to worry about his injuries though in general, because if he takes another injury, he's probably honestly done for a couple games, and that would kill their momentum. And it's just he's super injury prone.
That is
But
true.
honestly, it comes down to how they play the Titans. I think if they beat the Titans when they play the Titans, then they have the division. If they
Yeah.
don't, then it's the Titans. It's basically the same debate that's been the last couple of years. It's either the Colts or the Titans that win that division. And
Mm,
whoever wins is then the team that's in the playoffs because you're not going to get a second one of those two teams probably in the
whoever
playoffs.
whoever wins that game, like if Derrick Henry is stopped, that's who wins that game. Who wins that
Yeah.
game? Um, I don't know. I just don't trust the Titans. They're winning games, yes, but I don't.
I think it relies a lot on Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure on him.
If Derrick Henry gets hurt, this team, it will fall off. And it's crazy to say because they have Julio and AJ Brown, but this team relies on Derrick Henry to do everything. Sets the tempo, sets the pace, how aggressive the game's gonna be. Derrick Henry is a game changer. And he should probably win MVP this year, and he won't. The MVP very much favors quarterbacks, I think.
Mm-hmm. And the thing to add to the 49ers, I honestly think maybe they're kind of on the downhill too.
Yeah.
It's weird to think because that division was so competitive, but I'd actually only say it's the Rams and the Cardinals now. I don't think Seattle is able to.
Should I
Wilson
be
gets
doing
back.
something?
I agree.
I think they'll be too long
I
since
am
they lost.
Oh, we're dancing.
Wait, time out. I don't know where this audio is coming from.
Oh,
There's audio. I don't know where this is coming from.
okay.
Hold up.
I'm not so
Okay, I fixed it. It was... That was weird. Okay, what were you saying?
I'm just saying in general, like that division, the NFC West, expected all four to compete for the playoffs until basically last week. But I really think after Wilson got injured and the 49ers, they're up and down, but I just don't think they're put together as I expected them to kind of have issues, quarterback and being semi controversial there, but it's not really even the quarterbacks, it's just the team doesn't look good.
I don't think Jimmy G is going to last another season with the 49ers. He has not been playing well.
It's actually funny too. I just read a tweet before like 5 minutes ago.
Mhm.
The Patriots actually offered the 49ers a second round pick for him.
Oh,
They
really?
said no, they want
The Patriots offered to get Jimmy G back?
for a second round pick.
That's so funny.
And the Patriots actually and the 49ers said no, they wanted a first.
A
And literally
first?
that came out like 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Man, as a Patriots fan, I would really like Mac Jones. Mac Jones is
Yeah.
he's
I think he's probably better overall long term.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
But I
he
mean, if you get him for a second round pick, if you got Jimmy G for a second round pick, maybe you wait a year and go with someone else or 2 years. I don't think Jimmy G's bad, and I think in the Patriots system he'd probably be better than he was with the 49ers.
probably. I don't know.
I think Shanahan just really doesn't like him, and he's kind of like out for him type deal. Wants to get rid of him.
Yeah, that's why he drafted a mobile guy, in Trey Lance, which it'll be interesting to see how that project goes.
Agreed.
All right. So we were talking about the Seahawks earlier with Russ. Seahawks fall again this week to the Saints, 13-10. I said this, I think, 4 episodes ago, how the Saints are the most confusing team in the league. Jameis Winston could be playing like a god one game, and the next game he can be all over the place. I think this is another game where Jameis is I just don't know. So he did throw for a touchdown, but he was 19 for 35 and threw for 222. Alvin Kamara, obviously having the big play at the end of the game. He's doing enough, Kamara. But it seems like without Russ, the Seahawks have had to rely on the defense a lot more, and it seems like it's made them better. Because the last couple of games have been very close. The defense has been, I can say clutch. The defense has been clutch. But it's just been the offense that has been letting the Seahawks down. And I wonder if when Russ comes back, if the Seahawks defense can still play at this same level. Because that's what the biggest problem was with Russ being in the game. They had to rely on Russ and his ability just to score points, evade, a crumbling pocket. But I don't know. We'll see. What's your thoughts on this?
I agree with you with the Saints. Super confusing. A team I'd like to write off every week, and then they win games, and you're kind of like, okay, maybe they stick around and make the playoffs. I mean, it it's kind of like Carolina. It's the quarterback. What quarterback's going to show up, and how well are they going to play? And they have to play well enough to compete with Brady. And trying to think of the NFC has the Panthers.
So the
What team am I forgetting?
So
It's
Saints, Panthers,
Brady, the
Falcons,
Bucks,
Bucks.
Falcons. Okay, yeah, I think it'll come down to the Bucks are obviously the team in that division, but I think either the Cardinals or the Panthers or the Saints potentially make that, still have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But I think outside of that, it's one or the other. A lot of these divisions I feel like are the same way. It's either one or the other that's gonna make it. Maybe another one sneaks in.
I I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because this is the first year that I'm like actually following football again, or what. But this is the most interesting season to me that's happened in a long time. A lot of big injuries, a lot of backups having to come in and fill big shoes. Um, a lot of controversies. This has been a big season for the NFL. They weren't kidding when they said this was their best season yet. Uh,
Well, I mean, that was also because they added the game.
yeah, but
Because I can pretty much just say it right away off the top. It's the best season yet because there's an extra game.
I don't know.
But
That
I
might be.
definitely agree with you. There's stuff being added in. That's incredible.
Um, we will see. Hopefully, they'll implement a lot of new things next year. Go easy on like the taunting penalties. There's still a lot of time this season to do it. But I know it's still pretty
I don't think they'll
ridiculous.
change anything in season.
Um, if anything,
Playoffs is about the only time some of that stuff gets relaxed in the playoffs.
right. I don't know. We shall see. Uh, all right. So that wraps up week 7. So now we will start week 8. The Packers will go and play the Arizona Cardinals here in Glendale, Arizona. If you couldn't tell. So obviously the Cardinals, the last undefeated team in the league. But the Packers have been on a hot streak, winning 6 of their last 7. Playing really, really good. But like we were talking about earlier, the Packers really haven't been playing anybody worth note. Could look up their schedule right now. While I do that, Mason, what do you have to say about this game?
I honestly think the Cardinals would be pretty effective. Getting Chandler Jones back, the Packers not having Adams most likely, and their defensive coordinator due to COVID. And I honestly just think the Cardinals are a very complete team. I mean, to me, it's the Cardinals, the Bucks, and the Rams in the NFC until they start to show that they're not. I don't really see why it would change. The Packers are one of those teams that's kind of there. They could still win this game. I mean, I'm not saying they're out of it because Rodgers is one of the best in the league, but I just expect Arizona to win this one. It'll be close though, no matter what. It's not
Yeah.
going to be a blowout. They're both too competitive for that.
So out of everybody the Packers played this year, only 3 of their opponents have winning records now. And those guys are the Saints, the Steelers, but I think the Steelers are they 4-3 or 3-3?
They got to be 3-3 because they're
They're
not
on
4-3.
they're on a they're on a bye week, I think.
Yeah.
Or and then who was the other one? The Bengals, yeah. So they did beat the Bengals to an overtime, which is a sham. I don't know. I want to choose the Packers just because of Aaron Rodgers, but like you were saying, the Cardinals are a more complete team. They're getting Chandler Jones back. I don't know. Oh gosh. And they have to go to Arizona. You know what? I'll choose the Cardinals too. I think the Cardinals will win this game. It's going to be close though. Or at least that's what I like to tell myself. So you really can't tell with some of these games. But I think it's either this game will be close or the Cardinals will blow out the Packers. It's one of those for sure. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Before we close out this episode, do you have any thing you would like to bring up, Mason?
There's 2 things I'd like to point out. I quick want to go over like the moves and stuff like that. I didn't really touch on them during the games. So the Texans have no intent to trade Cooks or Larry Tunsil. Jabril Peppers is out for the year now on the IR. Willie Steed got released by the Raiders. Derek Wolf's going to come off the IR for the Ravens. Jason McCourty is out for the year on the IR. Matt Nagy has COVID. And DJ Chark, who is already injured, is now officially out for the year. So some of those big moves, some of them not really important. And then another thing, I know we've kind of hinted it through the episode. Do you want to maybe touch on like who you think will make the playoffs and stuff? Like in mid-season, kind of like who you feel.
Man.
Like,
So
yeah.
let's go over so if the playoffs were to start today, who would be in the playoffs, right? So if the
The
playoffs
NFL just posted something.
Oh, okay.
I thought, dude. I don't know if you got something, go with it. But I know I saw somewhere online that was just posted recently.
Okay. So if the playoffs were to start today, we'd have the division winners, of course. So it would be the Cardinals, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Cowboys, right? And then you have those 2 wild card spots. And that would go to the Rams
Here, I got the
and the
list here now.
Saints.
Yeah. So yeah, the NFC would be the Cardinals, Bucks, Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Saints, and Vikings.
Oh yeah, because the
would be the
Vikings are
NFC.
3-3. I don't think the Vikings make the playoffs though. I think
I
all
don't
of
think
those.
they do either, but I'm just saying, like, if the season started today, that's what they would be in.
Yeah, I think out of all of these teams, all of those guys stay the same, and then you switch the Vikings out for the Falcons. I think the Falcons make the playoffs.
Falcons?
Yeah. Either the Falcons or the 49ers, but I think the Falcons are on a hot streak right now, too.
I actually like it, yeah, 49ers. Or not the 49ers. I don't think 49ers will because I think there's going to be too much controversy at the quarterback and the team, how it's ran. Falcons, yeah, it's not a bad move.
The only way I see the Vikings making the playoffs is if they beat the Packers both times, so they have to sweep the Packers, and they just play competitive football. That's the only way I see it.
It also comes down to how healthy like Cook is. And I know the linebackers haven't played a
So
whole lot.
they've proven that they can win without Dalvin Cook, but even without him, it's pretty big. It's a big loss. Um,
I mean, honestly, it's so close with both of them, in my opinion. You look at either the Falcons or the Vikings, because the Falcons obviously have to play Brady twice, and the Vikings have to play the Packers twice.
Yeah. Um, I think for the Vikings, it's, of course, like you said, Dalvin Cook, but it has to be that defense too. I'm not sold on the Vikings defense. Um, I think honestly the Falcons and Vikings are the same. They are the same team almost.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other.
And then for the AFC, let's see, what do you have for the AFC? It's the
So far, if the playoffs started today, it was the Bengals, the Raiders, the Titans, the Bills, Ravens, Chargers, and Browns.
mm, dang.
I
That's that yeah.
I expect the Bengals to make it definitely, at this point. But I almost feel like the Chiefs or the Broncos will take that spot from the Browns.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it's down to the very last game, the Browns will have the tiebreaker over the Broncos. So there's
Hmm.
that. So, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel
I
like the Chiefs, you still gotta. It's hard to vote against them.
I can almost
I feel
see
like maybe they want to sneak in.
I was gonna say I can almost see the Patriots sneak in.
Oh yeah, no, that's true too because they win competitive games and they do good. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So they play the Chargers. I think they have, yeah, so the Chargers, the Panthers, they have to play the Browns, Titans, and the Bills. Oh, and the Colts. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. They just have a lot of tough games down the stretch. But yeah, I think what the NFL has out right now, for the teams who would make the playoffs now, I'm pretty confident, except for, like you said, the Browns.
It's really the last team in each conference is the only one I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
are you sure they're gonna be able to continue that trend? Because even in the NFC, I throw the Panthers out there too. If Darnold can get a little smarter, win a couple more games, why can't they make the playoffs?
Right.
They're a pretty complete team, and they get McCaffrey back. I'm
It,
pretty sure he's not done for the year. He's
no,
only injured for a few weeks,
no,
so I don't know.
he's been practicing. They just haven't activated him yet, which is frustrating because I need him so bad in my fantasy lineup.
I don't know. I'd actually almost pick the Panthers over the Vikings.
I don't know.
The Panthers have looked very good this year.
I'm
When they
pretty
win, they look good.
I'm confident in the Falcons. And I think Todd Gurley is still on the Falcons too, yeah?
He's not.
He's
No,
not anymore. Is he a free
he's not
agent?
on any team right now. Yeah,
Bummer.
I don't think he'll play again, unfortunately.
Ugh. Well, R.I.P. Todd Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Still
uh,
getting paid by the Rams though, so he can't be too mad.
I guess not. That is fair. All right, Mason. Anything left to say before we close this out?
No, I mean, look forward to our next episode where we can discuss Sunday's games. Another week of good games. I'd imagine. I haven't really looked at the schedule yet.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it either, actually.
I won't have to touch on the Ravens again for a week, so that's good. They get the bye.
Mm. Oh yeah.
I do know the trade deadline was a week from yesterday. I saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully some moves are made. I'd imagine some teams are gonna buy it, and some teams will sell. I would think maybe this Deshaun Watson trade gets going. I read today too that Goodell said he can't be put on the commissioner's exempt list yet because they don't have any evidence really to allow that to happen.
Right.
But they also said they're not fully done investigating him either.
I
So
I don't know if I'd
he
want
might
Deshaun
play this
Watson
year,
on
he
my
might
team.
not.
I expect him to not play at all, and I don't think this league has missed out on much without Deshaun. It sucks not having him there, but I mean, it's not the only team it's killing is the Texans, and that's it. I don't know.
I'd expect him to possibly play next year, but I don't think he'll play this year for sure.
Yeah.
It'll depend on all the results and what comes out, but I'd almost guarantee him not playing this year. That's why I don't know if a trade will happen, because you got to have something in that trade to say if he doesn't play, we are not giving you those picks.
Right.
And then you have to deal with the aspect of if you trade any players, they're going to resent you because you traded them or offered to trade them.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to make that work, whether it's like a smaller deal with some picks being flipped or what.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very confusing. That's why it may not get done until the end of the year. But should know. I'd imagine by this time next week we'll know for sure if he's getting traded this year or not. Really.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting next couple of days to see what the Texans do. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, another quick thing too on the Texans. Tyrod Taylor's going to play, I think, their next game.
Yeah, I did see that. He is healthy and
So,
good to
no
go.
more David Mills.
Jerry Jeudy is also supposed to play on Sunday.
Yep.
Or, yeah, on Sunday. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this was the Mason and Gress show, guys. If you like what you saw, definitely hit the subscribe button or hit the like button or share it with your friends, whichever mood you feel at that time. If you guys have any comments, any constructive criticism, we are more than able to take that criticism. You won't hurt our feelings. Just don't be mean, please.
Appreciate your thoughts, though.
Yes, very. The only way we can get better is if everybody's telling the truth. So, yeah. All right, guys. We will be back on Tuesday. Or freak. Sometime this week before Sunday. All right, everybody.
Sometime the weekend.
We'll talk to you later. Deuces.
Nope.